What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a Best Bet Show. It is week 17. Only one more regular season week after this. I will have a couple more episodes on the Mondays and Thursdays. But as far as Sundays go, this could be the last of it. Boy, Angel in there says, "What's up, man?" Listen, we're ready to rock. I'm going to get a little personal real quick. I'm tired as hell. Not going to lie. It is a rough day. For those of you guys who don't know, my dog has epilepsy. He takes medication all the time. Now he's got gallbladder and liver issues. So he's taking like 9 pills a day. I'm like not getting any sleep. But we got plays out yesterday and overnight. I'm excited for the day. Austin, I know you're feeling a little down in the weather yourself. How are you doing on this beautiful Sunday morning?
Yeah, I'm banged up. I think I have strep throat. My throat feels like razor blades, but being sick's an excuse. We're still here. We're locked in. We still got bets to hit. I'm still excited. The slate's going to be good. Still going to make the best of it. But yeah, I'm feeling beat up, but got to get after it. Got to keep chugging.
Absolutely. We have Francis Monica. What's up, brother? How are you? Hope all is well. Happy New Year to you too. We got a lot of guys here. Rashad White over receiving yards. Hurry up. The stat might move. I don't know what stat we're talking about. But unless it's the over under how many pills my dog takes, I don't think that's moving. But it is the last Sunday of 2023. Listen, and we can talk about this before we get into it. Me and Austin have been grinding out videos all year long. For those that stuck in with baseball till now, we've had a lot of fun. We're still getting the swing of things. I got married this year, so we had a little bit of layoff in episodes. 2024 is going to be awesome, so make sure you're subscribed to the FlashPicks channel. We should have a bunch more videos and a lot of better stuff coming out next year. But with that being said, let's dive into it. I want to talk about my first prop. I guess we could both talk about it. We're both on Travis Kelce over receiving yards today. Best matchup for tight ends. I talked about in my write-up that almost every tight end that had 4+ catches versus the Bengals had crushed this yards line. The only ones that didn't was Hawkinson, who had 63 on the dot. And then I think Will Mallory was the other guy. The Chiefs need to win some games after a horrible game against the Raiders where they lost a game and the opposing quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, didn't even complete a pass in the last 3 quarters. They need to turn things around. A lot of drama surrounding the Taylor Swift stuff and the Chiefs as a whole and Mahomes being a baby. You want to add on to the Kelce line? Why do you like it so much?
I honestly like it for the volume aspect as well. I think like the targets, like I was looking, Evan Ingram, 9 targets, Pat Freiermuth, 11 targets, Hawkinson, 7 targets. Like you're seeing guys, Will Mallory, 5 targets. Like you're seeing guys that clearly are getting a ton of volume. Obviously, it's a huge weakness of Cincy. And I mean, Mahomes knows he's probably the most fed up he's been since he's been in the NFL with like how his receiving core has been. It's going to be a priority to get Kelce the ball. I know a lot of people loved his over 5.5 receptions. That's been like minus 200, I feel like, for like the last few days. So I wanted a good pivot. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to play a push at 6 or play plus money at 6.5. And I just think it's likely we see Kelce with a few big grabs. 63.5 yards isn't too crazy of a line. You know what I mean?
I agree. His longest reception I was looking at as well, 20.5. And he's been getting some long catches. I mean, you're looking at a spread where it's 6.5. I think the Bengals defense is a lot better than last week's performance, or was it the week before against the Steelers? I think they're a little bit better. I think the Chiefs will be winning this game, but I think it'll be fairly close throughout. It's a big game, honestly, for both teams. So I think that they're going to need to be throwing the ball all game long. The Chiefs obviously fighting for obviously a higher seed. They're probably winning their division as the Raiders and Broncos are both 7-8, but the Jaguars are 8-7, one game behind them as far as seedings wise, whether they get the 3 or the 4 seed. So they need to win these games. They need to give Kelce the rock. So that's why we love Kelce over receiving yards against the best tight end target in the league by far.
I got one more thing to add on that. Another line that's interesting in that game, Patrick Mahomes might want to sprinkle up plus money over an interception. He's thrown a pick after a loss in 7 of the last 9 games. He's thrown a pick in 4 straight games. I mean, the guy's forcing stuff up, and you might get a drop from the receiver, which we've seen all year. and that's an interception too if they drop one and it goes in our hands. You know what I mean? So just seeing the numbers, seeing the trends could be an interesting spot at plus money.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Bengals tied for 5th most interceptions as well. They were a good target for me to go for interceptions. They have some guys that can catch the ball over there. And Kadarius Toney usually does his best to help that defense out anytime he can. He's the receiver you're probably talking about when you talk about job
Right.
backs.
Well, and anytime a passing attempt line is 36.5, like you're going to have a chance. Like, obviously it's Pat Mahomes, but he's thrown picks all year. He's top 3 in interceptions this year,
Yeah.
so.
I think also the confidence thing, the Mahomes is kind of forcing some plays. There's a couple against the Raiders where he could easily threw it away and he just tried to force something. And it seems like that's been kind of an issue in the last few games. I've been noticing he always kind of hovers the line of forcing / not throwing the ball away, but it seems like it's getting a little more out of hand as of late. So yeah,
Right.
Kelsey, we love going to another one. I love one of my plays, obviously, and I'm going to talk about it. I did a little 2-leg. It's kind of weird. I did on FanDuel. I did Brandon Ayuk 50+ receiving yards and Deebo Samuel 40+ receiving yards. Both their lines are about 70 and 60, give or take a few yards. So I got both them down about 20 yards apiece. It was minus 180 on DraftKings. I got it at minus 122 on FanDuel. You could probably pick both their lines in general on their regular lines. I love both. I love Ayuk probably a little more, but that's why obviously his yards are higher. He averages 18.5 yards per catch, which is the most yards per catch in the league. He just loves the deep ball. So I was also looking at his over receptions, over longest reception, obviously. And the Commanders allow so many receiving yards. The only problem in this game is the game script. We need it to stay fairly close. I don't want to see like a 34-3 game where they stop throwing. Did you touch anything this game, or did you stay away, Austin?
I did not touch anything in that game, I don't believe. Yeah, I stayed away from that one. The spread, like you said, is a little stiff for me to dabble, but I do like Ayuk. I like him a ton.
Yeah. He's a monster. Man zone coverages. He dominates man a lot. So does Debo. I mean, it's just a good overall game. If this game's close, I mean, Brock Purdy also trying to avenge himself after that 4 interception game I think he had last game. So he's going to try to show out against one of the best targets he's had all year.
Well, and the Niners do a good job getting their 4 or 5 guys the touches. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of teams, you see guys spread it out. You see a bunch of those no-name guys get 2, 3, 4 targets, 2, 3, 4 touches. And it's like the Niners make it a priority to get Debo his 5 or 6 grabs, get Ayuk his 5 or 6 targets, get Kittle his 5 or 6, get CMC his 20 touches. You know what I mean? So like
Absolutely.
it's good for prop purposes because your guy at least has a chance. We see it all the time. You see wide receiver 1 suddenly get 2 targets, and it's like you don't usually see that on teams like the Niners.
No, I completely agree. Go into your second play. I guess we can go game by game actually real quick because I want to talk about a couple of these games spread wise. Dolphins, Ravens. I think the Ravens I just keep getting disrespected. I know the Dolphins are very good, but you talk about the Ravens who just dominated the 49ers. The Dolphins are 7-1 at home, only 4-3 on the road. In Baltimore, no Jalen Waddle, no Mostert. Hill definitely gets a lot better when Waddle plays. Hill's still going to get his probably regardless, but you have to assume that the Ravens defense is unbelievable, but a 4-3 team on the road in Baltimore where the Ravens have been dominant at home all year, and honestly, I think are the better team in general. A lot of injuries. Do you like the Ravens?
I do. Yeah. I mean, they're my Super Bowl favorite right now out of the AFC. I love what I'm seeing. I think that defense is just nasty. You know what I mean? Like they just showed against the Niners. And I know there was some drops, some stuff, but that is still the San Francisco Niners. You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad football team at all. That's one of the best teams in the league. So I'm all on the hype train. I'm bought in.
I completely agree. I think there's a lot of spreads that you can take advantage of this week.
I did not play any props in that game. I liked Lamar's pass attempts at 30.5. If you can still find it, I'm seeing 31.5 minus 105 on DraftKings currently. I just think it's a good spot that I think the game's going to stay competitive. You know what I mean? Like I like them to cover, but I think it stays competitive.
No, 100%. I think that is an awesome game to watch too for playoff purposes. You have the Titans-Texans as well. Did you play a game in the Titans-Texans or did you stay away?
I played Nico Collins. I love Nico Collins receiving yards. Any wide receiver one has just dominated them all season long. They stop the run pretty well, and they can't cover the pass at all. And so it's kind of a system play. It's nothing cute. You know what I mean? I feel like anyone that's been capping has been targeting wide receivers against the Titans all year long, and it's been a profitable strategy. Nico Collins, clearly their wide receiver one, plays a lot better when Stroud's out there. I think we see a big game.
No, I completely agree. I love it with Stroud back. I mean, he's just unbelievable. He had some good wide receivers this year, but he shocked me the most out of probably any quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. Richardson would have been cool with the Colts, but we just didn't get to see enough.
I completely agree. I'm looking through right now. Patriots Bills 14.5 spread is kind of ugly. Giants Rams. The Rams are sneaky. The Rams need to win this game. They need to win basically every game. They're 8-7, tied with the Seahawks for second in the NFC West. They're definitely in the wild card race. Obviously, the Eagles Cowboys are going to be division winner / wild card one. But the Rams Seahawks both 8-7. A lot of teams at 7-8 after that. So every win is huge. I'd probably take the Rams. The Giants, as a Giants fan, should not be winning games. They should not be winning any of these games. You're out of the playoffs. What's the point? Your starting quarterback's hurt. You're not even letting him get some reps. There's no reason why they should be winning games. So for me, I'm leaning the Rams -6, and I might make it an official play just because of the urgency. The Rams have been looking great recently.
No, I totally like that. I think the Rams are they have a game against the Niners coming up, right? Next week?
Probably
they have one more. They're one of those teams that can play anyone tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the Niners.
But we saw last night, that was the most rigged game I've seen all year. Cowboys should not have won that game if we have any Cowboys fans in here. But moving on to the next one, I know you're going to love this spot too. I know you're playing it. Bijan Robinson, receiving yards. He's going crazy today. He just has to. The matchup's there. He had 10 targets last week, 7 receptions, 91 route participation. So he was out there for 91% of the passing routes, which he hasn't done that all year. So it's awesome to see that we're actually seeing him utilized in one of his strengths. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the Bears all season long have been the best target for running back receiving yards. Heineke looked like he loved to throw him the ball. I mean, look at everyone that had basically 3 catches, and a lot of them are soaring over this line, especially Bijan himself. He probably gets more catches too, but I think he just breaks one loose and he's a check down option all game long. And they probably have some more design screens in this game as well.
In games where Bijan has had 25 routes, ran 25 routes, he's gone over in 7 of 8 games. That's including with Desmond Ridder. I like the matchup with Heineke even more. He had 31 routes last week on 33 dropbacks. That's such a good line. You know what I mean? For 21.5 yards, Bijan can get that in one grab.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think that's my favorite play of the weekend.
I think mine too, and the weather as well. I think we're going to see a little bit of a rough weather as far as some rain here and there in the Windy City. So if that is the case, then 12-mile-an-hour winds, nothing crazy, but I think I saw some pretty big gusts at times. So if that does happen, all the more check downs will be an option. So definitely love that play, and I think it got shot up. Any questions from the chat? We got Falcons give up a lot of rush yards in terms of QBs. Fields over could be great today. Yeah, I don't hate it. He's gonna be ready to rock. I mean, it's tough because they're 6-9. They're not making the playoffs, in my opinion. They're still not mathematically out, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is those quarterbacks that need 10 rush attempts, when you're already eliminated, you tend to see them maybe dial it in a little bit more, not give it up. You know what I mean? Throw a few more away that you might not normally. I mean, he's 6-9. They're not making the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
So that's my biggest fear. Also, I was going to ask you this. I know we always talk about with the rush attempts, you got the kneels at the end of the games. I swear that's not happened one time when you and I have took our rush attempts. I swear it hasn't. I know it makes sense, but I don't know why it has not happened this season. I swear I have not seen it.
No, but I'll tell you what, if I take a QB rushing yards and he's at 3 yards, that guy kneels 3 times to ruin me.
Yeah, I had Justin Herbert over, I think you had it too, 9.5, and he was at 13, and he kneels 3 times, and I was sweating.
Yeah.
because it put him to 10.
And sometimes the kneels are minus 2 yards.
Yeah,
Some of
'cause
them
they take a little extra and back it up.
yeah, I can't
Horrible.
stand that, dude. But yeah, it's been a great season. I think there have been a lot of props this year. If we could talk about the year, pass attempts, I think have been gotten a lot popular this year. With
I think yours truly takes credit for that, man. I was there day one. I wasn't seeing anyone talk about it. I know obviously people were playing it, but I'll take that for a pioneer of pass attempts. Come on now. Give me my flowers.
I think you're right. This guy got porked on Hurts and kneel down. That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
Oh my. Do you think that DeAndre Swift is do you think Jalen Hurts just pays DeAndre Swift to get tackled at the one every game or
DeAndre Swift has never been like very good in the goal line. With the Lions, they would sub him out. He would
but he'll run for 12 yards and get tackled at the one.
He falls at the 1 or 2 every game. It's crazy. But people are mad that
some Eagles like employee has a huge fan just blowing him out. I swear every single time.
Well, the Eagles don't have a goal line back. Kenny Gainwell, not good at that. Boston Scott, not that good of a player. Like DeAndre Swift, you know what I mean? Like he's so small, but he's good. But yeah,
DeAndre Swift. I am on his rush attempts, so hopefully he gets stuffed at the goal line. I swear, if I lose his rush attempts because they
12-yard rushing touchdown where he just doesn't.
No, it's gonna happen is they're gonna be at the goal line twice. It's gonna be like first and goal at the 2, and they're gonna just push twice.
Probably.
I'm telling you right now.
They tend to not do it as much like early on if they have a lead. You know what I mean? They don't want to get hurt. So you're hoping for an early lead.
As a Giants fan, if I hear that Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds one more time.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like the James Conner when he had cancer and he used to run for like 3 yards. Hey, did you know that this guy had cancer a few years ago? It's like every time Jalen Hurts does a tush push, like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but he could squat 600 pounds. Well, yeah, you told me last drive. So it's just so frustrating.
Speaking of that, most improved player or comeback player of the year. I know Joe Flacco's not going to get it. Do you think that's fair that DeMar Hamlin gets that award over Joe Flacco? I know all that. I mean, come on.
I'm not gonna lie. I bet Tua to win. I think that comeback player of the year should be someone who plays. Like DeMar Hamlin should get recognized.
Right.
He should get recognized. I'm not saying that like screw DeMar Hamlin. I'm saying he should get recognized as an unbelievable feat. They should make another award, maybe. I don't know, something. Give him his own ceremony.
Yeah, he deserves his flowers. Absolutely,
he deserves 100%.
Absolutely.
But comeback player of the year, you might as well say that the next time. I doubt it'll ever happen again. But something this happens and someone barely plays, like then no one should be competing for the award because Tua, Joe Flacco.
How does Flacco not deserve it, bro?
Yeah, I think Flacco deserves it if they win the division. If they lose the last 2 games, maybe not. Because Tua, at the same time, concussions. I don't know if the media just blew this out of proportion, but they're like, he may never play football again. His brain's mush. He's got nothing. Like, and the gang signs on the turf. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on where he's playing at an MVP performance.
Yeah, I think some of that gets underlooked for Tua just because he has Tyreek Hill, he has Jalen Waddle. But I've said it all along, quarterbacks,
100%.
You can't grade a quarterback on their weapons. I think that's unfair. People do it with Purdy. They do it with Hurts. It's like grade the quarterback as a player.
I agree.
So that's fair.
I think Joe Flacco right now, if the season ended right now, Joe Flacco should win.
Who's done what Flacco's done? When was the last time we've seen a guy retire like that and come back and do this?
And if DeMar Hamlin started every game and had a regular season, give him the award.
Right, I agree. Even if he played bad, but he's played. He's just
played
not even
most of stuff on special teams. It's there. Like, again, nothing about DeMar Hamlin. Give him his flowers. Give him a standing ovation. Give him his own 30-minute speech at the end of the season.
I feel like if you asked him, he would probably tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you ask a guy, they would probably say, like, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how? I don't know. It's tough. I get it. It's like amazing story that he's still playing and he deserves all his recognition. I just think it's a little interesting that he's minus 190 or whatever it is to win the award when you have guys like Flacco or Tua who might be a little bit more deserving of that type of award.
It's also like such a BS award in general that I wouldn't be shocked if like the books in the NFL were just like, hey, we have so much liability here, let's just give it to this guy because like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like. I don't think anyone's losing sleep over winning comeback player of the year or not.
Yeah, you never hear someone be like, oh, he's got 2 championships, comeback player of the year. Yeah, you
Yeah,
never hear
no.
that. That's true.
Like, so it's probably whatever. I think Tua would rather win an MVP than comeback player of the year in general, but I think Lamar's got that down pat. And I don't know.
I just think it would be cool for Flacco. You can't tell me it's not deserving. This is a down year for passing yards, and he comes in and throws for 300, 4 weeks in a
Well,
row or whatever?
it's
Like,
also like that's the definition of what the award was made for.
yeah, stuff like that. Like, the dude came out of, like, gym clothes and decided to go throw the pigskin again. Like,
Yeah, he was gonna quit. Nobody wanted him. Like literally, and he torched
and
one of the best
let's be honest,
defenses in
he
the
looked
league.
like shit his last 3 years.
He scored the most points against the Jets this year,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he tied it in the first
he looked
half.
awful on the Jets last year. He looked awful with the Eagles a few years ago. Like, he did not look like the same guy we're seeing right now.
No, I completely agree. He flew economy the first game. It's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. They
We're
got
getting
him
off
in
track
chicken.
though, but that's it from the show today. I like Ayuk yards. I did that little 2-leg. One guy I didn't play was Jackson Smith and Jigba. I was going to play him as well. There's a lot of good spots. I think there's a lot of good games, and just enjoy it. It's the last Sunday of 2023. This is the last Sunday of meaningful football, honestly, because next week could be a little rest here and there. Guys just giving up, letting some third strings get some reps. So this is basically the last week before a lot of mathematical eliminations happen. So enjoy it. Have your pizza, have your wings, have your beer, whatever you guys do. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll catch you guys next year. Best of luck on your bets today. Peace out.